Imagine stepping into like a massive high-stakes meeting.
The pressure.
Right. You're ready to give a presentation to your international colleagues. Your slide deck is, absolutely flawless.
You've double-checked everything.
Exactly. You know your data perfectly.
Mm.
You have memorized every metric, every forecast.
Mm-hmm.
But here is the critical question. Do you know how the actual physical sound of your words impacts whether your audience truly understands your message?
That is honestly the invisible hurdle of professional communication.
Yeah.
Because, we will easily spend 20 hours refining the content of a slide deck, right?
Yeah.
But 0 hours analyzing the delivery mechanics.
And to be clear, we're not talking about like practicing eye contact or hand gestures here.
No, not at all. It means analyzing the literal acoustic reality of the sounds leaving your mouth.
And that is exactly what we're getting into today. So welcome to our YouTube channel podcast. This is the Biz English channel.
So glad to be here.
Before we jump in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and be sure to share your opinions in the comments section below.
Yes, please do. The community feedback is always so helpful.
It really is. So our mission today is to decode the hidden mechanics of spoken business English.
Right, and the goal here is entirely practical because, we aren't trying to help anyone fake a quote-unquote perfect native accent.
Right. A flawless accent is, well, it's largely a vanity metric.
Exactly. What actually matters in a boardroom is clarity, flow, and reducing the cognitive load on your listeners.
I love that framing, reducing the cognitive load. And, to get there, it becomes really obvious that we have to completely unlearn a very pervasive myth.
Oh, the enunciation myth.
Yes, because we're taught in school that good, clear speaking means pronouncing every single word perfectly on its own.
Which is just not how natural speech works.
No, it's not. But instinctually, if I'm nervous in front of a VP of global operations, my brain tells me to over-enunciate every single syllable so I'm not misunderstood. Right. I end up sounding like a rigid robot.
Right. And you think you're helping them out.
I do. I really do. Is that actually backfiring on me?
It is. Acoustically, it completely backfires because to understand why, we have to look at how the human brain actually consumes spoken language.
Okay, lay it on me.
Well, the listener's brain is not like a machine reading text on a screen, processing one distinct, isolated word after another.
Right.
It's a biological pattern recognition engine. It's actively listening for a continuous rhythmic melody.
So by stopping to perfectly pronounce every single word, I'm actually breaking the mechanism the brain uses to understand me.
Yeah, exactly. When you over-enunciate, you give equal acoustic weight to every single syllable.
Oh, I see.
You end up sounding like, I want to walk you through the project.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds exhausting to listen to.
It is. By stressing everything, you effectively stress nothing. The listener's brain is subconsciously waiting for rhythmic cues to tell it which data points are the most important.
And when you deny them that rhythm, their working memory has to, work overtime to piece the meaning together.
Exactly, and that leads directly into listener fatigue.
Right. So they aren't getting tired because the data is too complex. They're getting tired because I'm forcing their auditory cortex to work too hard by trying too hard to be clear.
Precisely. And this is where phonetic mechanics give us a brilliant tool to fix this. Have you ever heard of the schwa sound?
The schwa. Yes. This concept was like a massive paradigm shift for me.
It's so fundamental.
It is. It's essentially that incredibly relaxed, lazy sound. You hear it twice in the word banana.
Right. It is literally the single most common vowel sound in the English language.
Wait, really? The most common?
Oh, by far. And there's a physical reason for that. Producing a schwa requires the absolute minimum amount of muscular effort from your jaw, your tongue, and your vocal cords.
It's the path of least resistance.
Exactly. It's phonetic laziness in the best way possible.
And what blew my mind is that native speakers automatically reduce the vowels in smaller, less important words to this exact sound.
Right. They don't even think about it.
Like the word today isn't pronounced today. In a flowing sentence, it effortlessly becomes today.
Yep.
And the word for doesn't sound like the number 4, it becomes fur.
Thanks for being here today.
Exactly. Notice that the important words thanks, being, here, they retain their full vowel sounds.
Right, because they carry the meaning.
But the grammatical filler words for today, they get reduced to the schwa.
And that creates that necessary rhythm we were talking about. It highlights the crucial information by literally de-emphasizing the rest.
Taking that a step further, This completely reframes the idea of professional contractions, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Because standing up in a suit and saying, I want to walk you through the data feels properly formal. I always assume saying, I want to walk you through the data was too casual.
You're definitely not alone in that.
Yeah, like it might even sound sloppy for a formal presentation.
It's a super common misconception, but wanna isn't slang.
It's not.
No, it's
Kind
an
of
aerodynamic necessity for connected speech.
aerodynamic necessity. I like that.
Think about it. Saying want to requires you to stop the airflow in your mouth completely for that T sound and then start it up again.
It creates friction.
Exactly. Wanna smooths out the sentence. In highly formal business presentations, native speakers will naturally say wanna because it preserves the auditory melody.
Okay, so if we accept that over-enunciating is causing listener fatigue, and we know we need to reduce friction with schwas and contractions, how do the edges of these words actually connect in real time?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right. If we're treating spoken English like a fluid stream rather than individual building blocks, what happens when words crash into each other?
Well, that brings us to the mechanics of elision and linking. Let's look at a remarkably common ending in business vocabulary. The ing suffix. Working, planning, testing, analyzing.
They're everywhere.
Right. When an ing word is followed by another word, you should almost never cleanly separate them.
Meaning I shouldn't say, we are working on the project.
Right. Now, you also don't want to drop the G entirely.
Always saying working on.
Exactly. That can sometimes sound a bit too regional depending on your audience.
Makes sense.
The trick is to squish the words together. The back of your tongue, near the soft palate, softens the G and slides it directly into the next vowel sound.
So it blends into a smooth working on.
Yes.
It almost becomes one unified word. We're being-er instead of being here.
Spot on. And the deeper you look into rapid, connected speech, the more you uncover these things called unwritten contractions.
Oh, I found these fascinating.
They're great, right? They are vowel modifications that happen naturally in fluid speech that no one ever writes down in an email.
But everyone uses them out loud. Take the phrase, which has, as in, we implemented a new process, which has increased conversions by 20%.
A classic business sentence.
Right. But in a natural aerodynamic flow, which has automatically modifies into which is.
It really does?
It acoustically sounds exactly like which is increased conversions, or like prepare our teams. In rapid flow, it doesn't sound like the word our. It sounds like our prepare our teams.
Yes, that happens constantly.
But, okay, I have to push back here.
Go for it.
If I stand in front of my boss and pronounce which has, so it sounds exactly like which is, doesn't that fundamentally break the grammar of the sentence?
I get why you'd ask that.
Won't my boss sit there and think, which is increased? That doesn't make grammatical sense.
It's a totally valid fear, but honestly, no, they won't even notice.
Wait, really?
Not at all. And this is where top-down processing comes into play. Context is the ultimate decoder.
Okay, unpack that for me.
Because of the surrounding words in your sentence, specifically the past participle increased, the listener's brain instantly recognizes that you are using the present perfect tense.
Oh, so their brain essentially fixes the grammar in real time before it even reaches their conscious awareness.
Precisely. They hear which is increased, but their brain perceives which has increased.
That is wild.
Native speakers rely on this auditory illusion constantly. In fact, if you insist on cleanly enunciating which has increased, you actually yank their attention away from your 20% conversion metric.
Oh, man, and you force them to focus on the awkward mechanics of your delivery instead.
Exactly.
Let's pause for a second. I guarantee anyone listening to this right now has that one specific phrase they constantly stumble over in meetings.
Oh, everybody has one.
Right. Something that just feels like a phonetic nightmare to get out smoothly. Stop what you're doing right now and drop that phrase in the comments below.
Yes, I would love to see those.
We want to see what is actually tripping you up. And while you're scrolling down there, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our upcoming videos here on the Biz English channel.
Usually the biggest culprits for those are phrases loaded with complex consonant clusters that just refuse to link easily.
Oh, totally. Things like next steps or desk strategy.
Yes.
It's just a wall of consonants.
Yes.
But, this raises a major structural problem.
What's that?
If we're doing everything we just talked about, blurring words together, softening the G's, using unwritten contractions, and basically turning our speech into one continuous river of sound, how does the listener's brain know when a sentence actually ends?
That's a great point.
Because they don't have our presentation notes in front of them, right?
No, they don't. And this is where we have to look at the invisible punctuation of speech.
Wishes.
Intonation.
Ah, right.
If connected speech is the water flowing in the river, intonation provides the riverbanks. It maps out the shape and the boundaries of your ideas using pitch.
And this is where vocal training techniques come into play, right? Like what professional opera singers use.
Exactly.
Because opera singers don't just memorize lyrics. They meticulously map out their breathing and their phrasing to ensure the musical melody is never broken.
Right. They use consonants merely as rhythmic springboards to get to the next vowel.
In business communication, our pitch is that melody.
That is a brilliant parallel. Let's look at how pitch reveals sentence structure, specifically commas and periods.
Okay.
If you have a sentence that starts with a dependent clause, for example, as you know, or over the past month, there is a comma there in written text.
Right.
In spoken English, you cannot just plow straight through it on a flat pitch.
No, that sounds awful. As you know, our team has been working. Spoken flatly is just a brutal run-on sentence for the years.
It really is. When there is a comma, there must be a slight physical pause, but more importantly, your intonation should rise slightly.
As you know, with an upward tilt at the end.
Yes, and the inverse is true for a period.
Right.
When the thought is completely finished, your intonation must drop. We gathered valuable feedback from our customers. The pitch goes down firmly at the end.
It makes me think of driving a car, honestly.
Oh, how so?
Intonation is basically the turn signals of your speech. When you're on the highway, you don't violently swerve into the next lane without warning.
Well, hopefully not.
Hopefully. You put your blinker on. You warn the other drivers where you are going, long before you make the move.
I love that. That provides immense psychological safety for the other drivers, just like intonation provides psychological safety for your listener.
Exactly. The upward pitch at the comma is the turn signal saying, hold on, don't stop listening, we are taking a turn and continue the thought.
Yep.
And the downward pitch of the period is the brake light. We are coming to a full stop. The idea is complete. You're literally mapping out the logic of your argument in the air.
Which highlights a deeply empowering realization for international professionals.
Yeah.
Structure absolutely conquers accent.
That is such an important point.
You can have a very heavy accent from your native language. You might not pronounce every English vowel perfectly, but if you master this rising and falling intonation, you will be perfectly, effortlessly understood.
The turn signals matter significantly more than the brand of car you were driving.
Exactly. Intonation is the single most important factor in auditory comprehension.
Wow.
Conversely, if your intonation is flat, or if you use upward intonation at the end of every single sentence, a common habit known as uptalk, you destroy the structural integrity of your message.
We gathered feedback from our customers, and it was very helpful, so we will proceed with the plan.
It's terrible, right?
It strips away all your authority. It sounds like you are constantly asking for permission to exist in the room.
Downward intonation at a period projects finality, competence, and authority. Upward intonation at a comma creates anticipation and keeps the audience hooked.
Okay, so we've established the acoustic foundation.
We have.
We understand the fluid delivery of the schwa and the aerodynamic linking. We have the structural melody of intonation mapped out. How do we apply this to the actual vocabulary we need to use?
Right, because we can't just talk about theory. We need to know how to actually speak the words.
Exactly. Let's run through the essential business lexicon, starting with how you bookend a meeting. You know, the critical first and last impressions.
Okay, for the opening, a classic phrase is, "Thanks for being here today."
But applying our phonetic rules, we aren't saying, thanks for being here today.
Please don't.
We use the schwas. Thanks for being here today.
Yes.
It flows effortlessly, it is incredibly polite, and it immediately sets a warm, welcoming tone.
And for the close, a simple thanks for your time serves as the perfect bookend. It signals a definitive wrap-up.
Nice and clean.
But the real engine of the meeting relies on action phrasal verbs.
Let's apply our linking mechanics to some of the heavy hitters. The first one is walk you through.
Oh, that's a good one.
As in, I want to walk you through the latest numbers. It means explaining something step by step.
It's highly collaborative.
Very. But phonetically, you have that hard K at the end of walk crashing into the Y of you.
Right. To keep the flow, you don't stop on the K. You let the K glide directly into the Y, almost creating a K sound. Walk you through.
Walk you through. I like that. Another crucial one is rollout. You don't just start a new strategy, you roll out updates globally.
It implies a coordinated, large-scale introduction.
And again, applying the phonetic link, the double L in roll slides right over into the O of out, roll out. It becomes one word.
Seamless. The same goes for launch, which refers to the definitive beginning of a campaign.
We also see the word key showing up constantly. Outside of business, it's something you use to unlock a door. Inside business, it is an incredibly powerful adjective, meaning major or important.
One key improvement, or the key takeaway.
Right. But my absolute favorite phrase from the lexicon is used for closing out communications. Feel free to reach out.
It's so much better than the alternatives.
It really is. It's a modern conversational alternative to that incredibly stiff, outdated phrase. Don't hesitate to contact me.
Ugh, yes. But the trick here is intonation.
Oh.
If you say, feel free to reach out with a flat, robotic pitch, it sounds super insincere.
Yeah, like you don't actually want them to reach out.
Exactly. You have to lift the pitch slightly on free and bring it down warmly on out.
Feel free to reach out.
Perfect.
So the obvious question becomes, how do you actually train your mouth to do all of this? You cannot just memorize the mechanics of the soft palate and expect it to magically manifest in a high-pressure board meeting tomorrow.
No, you definitely can't. Which brings us back to what polyglots and performers do. They use a highly specific training technique called shadowing.
Shadowing. Tell us about that.
It bypasses your analytical brain entirely. It requires finding high-quality audio of a clear, native-level speaker, like a fantastic TED Talk or an interview with an industry leader. You listen closely, but you don't just passively absorb it. You speak at the exact same time as the audio, laying your voice over theirs like a shadow.
Wow, so you're trying to match the exact music, the exact pacing and breadth of their delivery.
Exactly.
But wait, is shadowing really that much better than, say, taking my presentation notes, standing in front of my bathroom mirror, and reading them out loud a dozen times?
Ah.
I mean, practice is practice, isn't it?
Actually, reading a script to a mirror is incredibly dangerous.
Dangerous, really.
Yes, because it just reinforces your existing habits. If your baseline habit is to over-enunciate, or if your default intonation is flat, reading out loud just cements those flaws deeper into your muscle memory.
Oh, wow.
You are actively practicing your mistakes.
That is a brutal realization.
It is. But shadowing forces your vocal cords to adapt to an external rhythm. By forcing your mouth to speak concurrently with the model, you physically don't have time to over-enunciate.
Ah, that makes sense.
You're forced to link words you wouldn't normally link. You're forced to use schwas and unwritten contractions just to keep up with their pace.
It's like learning to dance. You don't learn the tango by reading a manual about foot placement.
Right.
You learn by mirroring an instructor in real time, stepping exactly when they step, internalizing the rhythm in your body. Shadowing is dancing with the acoustic flow of the language.
That is exactly the mechanism. You are overriding your visual reliance on written text and developing a pure acoustic instinct.
So, synthesizing everything we've talked about today, in the realm of professional English, natural flow, aerodynamic linking, and the structural turn signals of intonation are infinitely more vital than possessing a flawless accent.
Absolutely.
The goal is not to sound like you were born in Manhattan or London. The goal is to drastically reduce the cognitive load on your listener so your brilliant ideas can finally take center stage.
Beautifully said.
You squish the ings, you embrace unwritten contractions like which is, and you use your pitch to confidently guide your colleagues through the logic of your presentation.
Because knowledge only holds value when it is actually absorbed. By shifting your focus from rigid, robotic pronunciation to fluid musicality, you fundamentally transform how your expertise is received in the room.
And that leads to a final provocative thought for you to take away today. Tomorrow, when you're talking to your family, catching up with friends, or just ordering a coffee in your own native language,
Yeah.
I challenge you to actively listen to how you are speaking. Notice how ruthlessly you smash words together.
Oh, you'll be shocked.
Right. Notice the unwritten phonetic contractions you deploy without a second thought. Pay attention to how your pitch naturally rises and falls to map out commas and periods in your mother tongue.
It is a fantastic exercise because you will quickly realize you are already a master of these mechanics.
Exactly. Applying these techniques to your business English is not about learning some bizarre, unnatural new skill.
Not at all.
It is simply taking a musical instinct, a fluid rhythmic intuition that you already possess and use every single day in your native language, and unlocking it in English. You already know how to dance.
Yeah.
You just need to trust the rhythm.
That realization alone should strip away a massive amount of anxiety for your next presentation.
It really should. Well, that wraps up our discussion for today. Thank you for joining us here on the Biz English channel.
It's been a pleasure.
If this conversation brought you value, please make sure you hit the subscribe button right now, leave a like, and keep the discussion going in the comments section below. Did you drop your hardest to pronounce phrase down there yet?
Get to it if you haven't.
We will be looking through those to plan our next topic. Thanks for your time today, and we will see you on the next one.